Hey, what is up everyone? Tyler Ramsbey here, back with another video, and in this video I want to share with you how easy it would be for me to hack your company, to steal your information, to steal your credit card number, and how you can stop me. Specifically, I want to talk about phishing emails. Now, it's 2022. Unless you've been living under a rock, I guarantee your company makes you attend like some annual cyber awareness training. I'm guessing you've heard about phishing emails in the news. And I want to show you how an attacker does it and just how easy it is to send phishing emails and just give you some things to be aware of. But let's begin with the basics. What is phishing? Now, I think we all know a phishing email is an email sent by a malicious attacker to trick you to giving them their information. But let me just give you some statistics and why this is like a huge topic of conversation today. So there's an average of 14 malicious emails you receive per year. Once again, there's an average of 14 malicious emails that you receive per year, either in your work email, your personal email. And one of the telltale signs of a phishing email is there's really three of the most common subject lines: urgent, request, and important. In other words, an urgent request that is important. Even in my role, I work IT right now at Southeast Tech. We get phishing emails sent to our IT department on a pretty regular basis from end users saying, hey, is this a phishing email? And 99% of the time, the answer is yes. And they almost all have that in common. It's an email that tells you you have to do this right now or else something's going to happen to you. Or it's an email spoofing another person saying, hey, I'm going into a meeting right now. I need you to respond to this email. Don't call me. Respond to this email and, buy like thousands of dollars worth of iTunes gift cards, because that's definitely something your CEO would have you do. But what exactly are attackers trying to steal from you? Well, they're trying to steal your credentials. That's a big thing. They want your username and they want your password. And kind of a real story of this, once again, in my role at Southeast Tech, I received an email from someone at another college saying, hey, your president wants you to view this file. All right, you click the file and it brings you to a Google Doc that says, hey, enter your username and password. But the weird thing is it was coming from a legit person's email. Well, what happened is they provided their credentials elsewhere, and then the attacker used that email with stolen credentials as a pivot point to spam everyone else. So when your IT department tells you you need multi-factor authentication, which is that annoying little app on your phone that prompts you when you try to log in, that's important, because even if a hacker steals your credentials, they can't log into your email if you have MFA enabled. So they want to steal your credentials. The second thing they're often stealing is your personal data, right? That's your name, that's your address, that's your credit card information. That's anything they can use to either steal your identity or use you as a pivot point to attack other people. And the third thing they're often trying to steal is medical information. If you work in a hospital, this is going to be a big part of your training for phishing emails, is not giving away medical information, because that is protected and they can use that once again as a pivot point or to scam other people. And let's talk about the cost, right? Because money matters. The average phishing cost, the average breach costs $4.65 million. All right, once again, the average breach caused by a phishing email in your company costs $4.65 million. Now, before we dive into how easy it is for me to attack your company and hack your company, let me just give you an example. Like, what does a phishing email actually look like? So here I have an example of a phishing email. Let me just walk through some of the things I shared about. It begins at the top. There is an issue with your American Express account. Now, a good sign that this is a phishing email is if you don't have an American Express account, right? That's kind of the obvious, but you'll notice it seems like this is an urgent thing that you have to do. There's an issue with your account. The other thing is, if you look at the email, it says American Express here, but then it has this very strange email at Pentagon. I don't even know how you spell this. That's clearly not an American Express email. It's kind of a telltale sign that this is probably a phishing email. If you look through here, it says review your information. Due to recent activities on your account, we place a temporary suspension until you verify your account. You need to review your information with us now on 11/8/2019. Once again, there's that urgent. You need to do this right now. It cannot wait till tomorrow. To continue using our American Express online service, we advise you to update the information about your account ownership. Click here to review your account now. Now, I guarantee you, if this is a real phishing email, you click that link, it would bring you to a website that looks legit. It would ask you for your card information, your banking information, and guess what? they have your information. You just got pwned, as in hacker speech. For the security of your account, we advise you not to notify your account password to anyone, so they even make it sound secure themselves. If you have problems updating your account, please visit American Express support. Sincerely, American Express Company, all rights reserved. That has all the telltale signs of a phishing email. So when you receive an email like that, pause. Be careful. If you work at a business, send it to your IT department first. It is better to be safe than sorry, especially in the world of ransomware, where if you click a link, it loads something on your computer, it locks your computer, it spreads throughout your network, and then your company is out of luck, and you better hope they have good backups. Now, let me show you just how easy it is to send these phishing emails. So I'm going to open my Kali Linux box, and let me share my screen with you guys one more time. Hopefully you can see it. Perfect. And here's Kali Linux. If you're new to Kali Linux, I do plan on doing a video walking through this. Long story short, it is an operating system built in Linux for the purpose of penetration testing, ethical hacking, security type stuff. So let me just pop open the terminal. I always switch to root, even though technically you're not supposed to always switch to root. It's not the proper way to do it. But here's this. And now what we're going to launch is what's called Social Engineering Toolkit. Let me just show you what this looks like. All right, while this launches, I want to show you how a hacker would harvest your email address. So if my internet would load, maybe. Of course, it doesn't work for an actual demonstration. So what we're going to do is let's jump over to here. I will do it a different way. I want to show you guys a website that can be used to harvest emails, and often this is what hackers do. So this is phonebook.cz. So phonebook lists all domains, email addresses, or URLs for the given input domain. Wildcards such as blah blah are allowed. You are searching 34 billion records. Now you could do your company here. I work at Southeast Tech. I'll just show you how easy this is on Southeast Tech. It works on like really any website. So southeasttech.edu is the domain. If I want to search for email addresses, I just hit submit, and look at that. I have the email addresses of everyone at Southeast Tech. I bet I can find myself. Let me search by my last name, and there I am, Tyler Ramsbey. Now I just want to show you guys how easy this is. You could take this, put it into a file kind of as your pivot point, but let's just look for the CIA.gov. Show you what comes up. Whoops. Look at that. I have a bunch of email addresses from people at CIA.gov. So the first point of attack is what's called OSINT, or open source intelligence, and that is me harvesting your email. I'm going to look at your social media. I'm going to look at LinkedIn. I'm going to look at this website. I'm going to look at your website, your business website. I'm going to figure out who the president or the CEO is, who the board is, who the different people are. And I'm going to use all that intelligence as a means of attack when I send you a fake email to steal your information. So once I have your email, let's jump back over to Kali. It looks like the internet finally did open. Oh, I see what it was doing. It was just bugged out because of this. All right. Let me jump back to the Social Engineering Toolkit. The way this works is there's honestly a lot of things that the Social Engineering Toolkit can do, but it's built around social engineering, which is people hacking is another way to do it. The weakest vulnerability in your company is not your firewall, it's not your computers, it is you, right? The weakest link is always people. People are the easiest thing to hack. Social engineering is hacking people to get your information and get you to do something for me without you realizing you're doing it. And that's what a phishing email is. It's a social engineering attack. So let me show you guys what to do. So I'm here. I'm just going to hit 1 for social engineering attacks. And now there's a few different things we could do. Most phishing emails are going to be the spear phishing attack vector. Kind of a big term. It means I'm targeting a specific person in your company. If I'm targeting like the CEO or the director of marketing, it's a specific person, big target, high value target. I am spear phishing them. So let's do a spear phishing attack. And now the weird thing about this is spear phishing usually targets one person, but you can also perform a mass email attack. And I'll just show you what that looks like. So once again, I'm gonna press 1 for a mass email attack. And now there's a bunch of different things we can do. These are called payloads. So this is what I'm going to use as a malicious file to attack your computer. And I think one of the best ways you can do this is a PDF with a .exe embedded in it. Now you probably know a .exe is a file that runs. If I sent you an email that just said like run this .exe, you're not going to run it, you're going to be suspicious. But if it's a PDF and I name it a bill of sale, or I name it a quote from a company that you were expecting that I figured out from your LinkedIn page, then you have a higher chance of opening it. So let's just say we want to do Adobe PDF embedded. Let me do 13. So we can use our own PDF for the attack. So if I had a PDF here that had legit numbers from a legit company, so it looked like a quote, I could use that and it would embed a .exe in it. So when you open the PDF, I have your computer. But let me just show you what it looks like. We'll use a built-in blank PDF for the attack. Now there's a few different options we can do here. There's shells here. So if you don't know what a shell is, you can Google it, figure it out. Long story short, if I have a shell on your computer, what's going to happen is like I'm going to have a connection between my Kali Linux box right here to the victim machine, which is your computer. And then from this shell, I can control your computer. Essentially, I turn your computer into a zombie and I am the master. So if I want to do a Windows reverse TCP shell, let's just do one again. Here's what it's asking me to do. This is the listening host. So this would be my IP address. And you can see it's giving me right here. That's what it is on my Kali Linux machine. So I would either type in my IP or maybe malicious server I have set up for this purpose. The port to connect back on, 443 is a good port because that's what HTTPS usually runs on, so it doesn't look as suspicious. And now what it's going to do is it's going to create this payload. It takes a little bit to create the payload. It says be patient. It takes a bit. We'll let it do its thing and then we'll come back to the video and I'll show you a little bit about what this payload looks like. Oh, it's already done, so I didn't need to come back. So it says all payloads get sent to the template.pdf directory. If you're using Gmail, you'll need to create an application password, blah, 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 blah. As an added bonus, use the file format creator in set to create your attachment. So now it says, hey, I want to rename the file or keep the file. Right now it's named moo.pdf. You're probably not going to open an email with moo.pdf, so I'm going to rename the file because I want to be cool. So new file name. Let's call it billofsale.pdf. File name changed. Moving on. So now we could say I want to email attack a single email address because I targeted the top person in your company. I can do a predefined template. I can do a one-time use template. We'll just do that. Subject of the email, we'll say important. Remember that was one of the big buzzwords. Important bill of sale. Open immediately. I'm spelling stuff wrong. Which another thing about phishing emails is they often have typos. So if you receive an email from Amazon with a bunch of typos, it's a good chance it's a phishing email. So we'll say open right now. And then send the message as HTML or plain. If I wanted to add special links, I could do HTML. For this, we'll just do plain. Enter the body of the message. So, hello, please open this immediately per your director of marketing. Okay, and it says hit return for a new line and press Control-C when finished. Well, let's do Control-C. Send the email to tyramsby@gmail.com. That's my Gmail. Now, I'm not going to go through with this. What it would ask you to do at this prompt, I'll just show you what this looks like. You can use your own Gmail account, which you have to enable certain things, but the best way to do it is to use your own server or an open relay. Now, there's open relays online. I'm not going to show you how to do this because at the end of the day, you actually shouldn't be sending phishing emails. You can get arrested in big trouble for this. You should only do this in a lab environment or if you're working as a penetration tester. And if you get to that point, you will have an email server, an open relay configured for this use so that you can send out these phishing emails. So, once again, that may have been a little bit confusing if this is new to you, but I want to draw your attention to the reality that in just, I'm looking at the time, 14 minutes, I explained to you what phishing emails were, gave you a snapshot of an example phishing email in, 5 minutes, I generated a phishing email with a PDF document that had a .exe embedded into it that would have allowed me to turn your computer into a zombie machine. I could have monitored everything you did. I could have stolen information. I could have used your computer as a pivot point to get into your network. So my friends, how do you stop this? Be suspicious of everything. Be suspicious of every email you receive. Be suspicious of every attachment you have. If you're at your company and an email is at all suspicious, send it on to your IT team. Look for typos and trust your gut. Hopefully this video was helpful for you guys. I will be back soon with more videos, but I hope you guys have a great rest of your week.